Peace and blessings, y'all. I am back with another video. This is my second time recording this video, and so I'm a little pissy about it. I'm just gonna put that out there. But that makes me feel like this information must be really important. So I'm gonna this video is gonna be shorter than the others, just because maybe I was talking too long. I don't know. I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible, but I can't not try to get this message out. I cannot freaking believe that the video didn't save, but yeah, that's wild. All right, but you know what we not finna do is let a motherfucker win, so I guess I just have to try harder, which is what the fuck I was born to do. So here we go. Take two in this bitch. All right. Let me just sorry for all the cussing. Thank y'all for letting me get my zoomies out. That's just so frustrating. I did not want to have to record this twice. Okay. So basically what I was trying to explain was the devil tricks you into telling them how did I exactly phrase it? I'm finna phrase it exactly the fuck. Okay. The enemy sabotages your plans by getting you to talk about them. That's what the fuck I was trying to say. Okay, so you have to keep your plans to yourself. What I mean by that is I actually said a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not going to repeat. I'm just going to get it to the nugget of the message. So if you think about the other videos that I put out in this series, the thing that I kept saying was that the enemy already knows that they lost. They know that they know that they can't win. So they settle for making sure that you kind of stay stagnant. If they can't win, then they can make sure that you lose, or they can make sure that they slow you down. The way the enemy slows you down and keeps you stagnant is by tricking you into giving your power away. Remember when I said that the enemy works through situations, right? Not necessarily through people. Well, I'll switch that. The enemy works through people too, but I feel like it moves from person to person. But that's new. Remember, because I had that video about how the enemy is evolving. It's new that the enemy works through people. What the enemy used to do is work through situations. And so, like I said, we have gotten out of a lot of situations. We have given ourselves permission to grow, permission to change. And when you give yourself permission to grow and to change, you give yourself permission to step out of one reality into another one. Permission to step out of one situation into another one, which is basically getting free from the enemy, right? It's basically going into a space where the enemy cannot enter, because you created. It's like if you're in a house and you're running from somebody, you create a new room to go to that only you have the key to, that only you can let them into, okay? So the enemy tricks us into letting them in, by tricking us into giving our power away. And the way that they do that is by asking us what our plans are. Okay? Like I said, the enemy is very curious. They get very bored. They don't really have a lot going on because they're not really made to produce. They're not really made to. And like I want to say that I'm not talking about a particular person. It's an energy, but this energy is not made to be productive. It's made to be distracting. I'll put it, that's the plainest way I can put it. So by the enemy asking you what your plans are, the enemy is always going to play a little stupid. So if you have a new reality that you want to enter, like say you want to go back to school, the enemy is going to be like, well, how's that going to work? How are you going to do that? And the second you engage in that conversation and you explain yourself, you explain like how you think your plans are going to come to fruition, you have given your power away, because you are telling the universe that this entity or this energy has any sort of power or control over you, that to the fact that you owe it an explanation. And the truth is that you don't owe anybody an explanation. In fact, the truth is, in the beginning stages of your manifestation, you owe people the opposite of an explanation. You owe it to yourself to be the fuck quiet, because manifestations have to get very solid in the non-physical before they're solid enough to come through into the physical. So sometimes you will just have a knowing of how you can do something that is just for you, because it's your knowing about how something can work for you, about how you can do something. Okay. You cannot extend that knowing or that certainty to someone else. It's not shareable at that point. The only way your manifestation should be shared is when they have enough flesh to speak for themselves. So that looks like you saying, oh, this is this thing I did, not this is my plan to do this thing. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're explaining your plans, then you're already giving your power away by saying, like I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. By telling the universe that this person, place, or thing has any sort of authority over you to the point that you owe it an explanation. If you owe anything an explanation, then that means that you are not certain in your intuition. And if you are not certain in your intuition, then now your knowing is no longer based on something solid. And so it cannot be solid enough in the non-physical to come through into the physical. I hope that's making sense. Okay. So the other way that the enemy will trick you into giving your power away, or trick you into talking about your plans and therefore sabotaging your plans. And this was like the main part of the last message, and it's a little complicated, but I'm going to try my best to say it again and not rush through it, and have faith that this message will be recorded this time. Okay. We have to start with the premise, with the understanding that the enemy has no plan to follow through on its own plans. I'm going to say that again. The enemy's plan, they have no plan to follow through on their plans. Their real plan is to distract you and detract you from completing your plan. But what they're going to do is pretend like you both have plans and like you're meant to exchange information about your plans. Do you understand? Okay. So what this is going to look like is the enemy's going to ask you what your plans are. No, scratch that. First, the enemy's not going to ask you what your plans are. First, the enemy's going to tell you their plans. And they're going to want to talk about their plans a lot. Okay? Yes? I can't talk about that right now. I'm recording, okay? Okay. What the enemy's going to do is they're going to tell you their plans, okay? They're going to invite you into their plans. They're going to talk about their plans. And they're going to have a lot of time to do that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to spend a lot of time listening to their plans and supporting their plans and lending energy to their plans. The reason that they're going to have a lot of time to talk about their plans is because they don't need to save time to actually bring their plan to fruition, because they never planned to do that in the first place. Their plan is to distract you and to suck you in to something that's never going to happen. I need you to remember this. That is the enemy's plan. Okay. So yeah, they're going to have a lot of time to talk about it, plan it, have meetings about it, set up steps, all that shit, because that is, they are enacting their plan in that moment, because that's their plan, is to distract you from whatever the fuck you really got going on. Okay. What's going to happen is it's not going to occur to you that people would actually do this, because that's not normal. Okay. So in your world, in normal town, when people have plans, they're going to fulfill their plans. So when they announce that they need support for their plans, you're going to offer that support. You're going to offer an encouraging ear. You're going to offer encouraging words. You're going to lend your time, your resources, maybe your money. You're going to give them rides. You're going to do whatever you got to do to help them get that plan in motion, because that's the kind of person that you are. And then somehow, inevitably, the plan's going to fall apart. It's not, whatever you're planning is not really going to come to fruition. And when that happens, somehow you will feel responsible, because you are a person who really likes to make sure that things actually happen. So you're going to feel like you're going to blame yourself. You're going to be like, damn, maybe I didn't help this person enough. Maybe if I had just done a little bit more, this plan would actually come to fruition. But what you don't realize is that plan was never going to come to fruition. The actual plan was to drain your energy and to keep you from focusing on your plan. Okay? And here's the thing. You might want to do that because maybe their plan was better than your plan. A plan that ain't never going to happen can be amazing. A plan that really is going to happen sometimes is a little bit more simple, low-key, grassroots, like that. These grandiose plans and shit, they're going to sound great, but it's because it was never going to happen in the first place. Now, on the flip side, when you tell the enemy your plans, they're not going to offer all the support that you were offering, because why would they? They don't really want your plans to come to fruition. They don't really want you to enter a different reality or situation. They don't really want you to escape their sabotage. So they're going to pretend to help you. They're going to seem supportive. They're going to act nice about it. But you're going to notice that their words feel a little bit hollow, okay? That their encouragement feels a little bit forced. That the words don't really follow through with action. Meaning they say they're going to help you, but they really don't. Or they help you in a way that doesn't really help. Or it just kind of makes you insecure or makes you crazy or make you feel like you don't have authority or you have to explain everything or, you know what I mean? It's just like this little subtle undermining that will happen when they help you with your plans. And so then your plans won't really come to fruition either, or they won't be what you thought it was going to be, or they won't be as satisfying as you thought, or you won't feel as proud of yourself as you knew you could have, or it'll just be something, right? And again, what's going to happen when that happens is you're going to blame yourself. You're going to say, damn, I didn't work hard enough. I didn't work hard enough to make this happen, right? Because people who are not the enemy, like us, we're capable. We want to be able to do things ourselves. That's what's important, is producing things, being productive, having evidence of our goals and moving forward and creating new realities and situations that benefit us and benefit other people. Like, that's our real genuine goal. That's not the real genuine goal of the enemy. The real genuine goal of the enemy is to stop you from doing that. Do you understand? So that's why you can't really talk about your plans. And it's not what I said in the other video that I will repeat here is, once again, it's not personal. This is an energy that moves around. So you could think that this energy is on a particular person and you could get real pissed off at them. And as soon as you snap on them, the energy leaves them. It was never them. Like I said, so the way to get around that is to have a certain set of rules for yourself. Rules and standards for how you operate on the earth plane. Since you know that hating ass energy can move around and try to stop you working through anyone who's close to you. When you know that that's true, you just have to have rules for yourself of how you're going to engage with people on this earth. And one of the rules needs to be that you do not talk about your plans until your plans can talk about themselves. Meaning you can point to this thing, you have this certification, this piece of paper, this whatever this is, you can say, look at this thing that I did. And it's done. And the new reality and situation is created. And that way it cannot be sabotaged. And that way the people who genuinely care about you and who genuinely want to see better things for you, they are free to truly support you and love you and want good things for you, because that hating ass energy is either gonna leave them because there's no way to sabotage you, so now they're free of that energy because they couldn't stop you if they wanted to, so now they're free to really support you and feel good about you, or the hating ass energy will consume them because they couldn't stop you and they will stay the fuck away from you. It's only the hating enemy energy is only going to be close to you when it knows it is able in any way to stop you. But if you are kind enough to keep your plans to yourself, don't let anybody sabotage you, do what you're going to do, and then present your ideas when they're already full grown, it frees the haters up, the true deep ones, to get the fuck away from you. And it frees up the people who aren't haters but could be influenced by that hating ass energy, but they deep down, they love you and they support you. It frees them up to do that because you don't need them to believe in you. Whenever you need someone to believe in you, there's always this space where they don't do it. Like where there's just this energy comes in and questions if they should. But if you take that away by making it so that they don't even need to believe because they could just see it because you did it, well, that helps everybody. Okay? All right. I am going to leave that there. Yeah, I think I said what I needed to say. Peace, y'all.